Don't usually do this, but look, it's just not going to work. You don't need to know Donald Trump's personality to know that this just isn't going to last much longer. Finnerty has been on the air now for 9 months, and we have deliberately held off on making predictions. Political people do it way too often on TV, like they think they know something. They don't. They're usually wrong. So we have not done this, but that ends right now. Tonight, we will make our first prediction, and if we're wrong, I will be stunned. Fed Chair Jerome Powell will not be chairman of the Federal Reserve by the end of the year if he does not lower rates very, very soon, like within the next 10 days. And we say that after watching this video, knowing that 90% of communication is nonverbal. Take a look at this.
We're taking a look, and it looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
Okay. The guy on the right is Jerome Powell, and he is just not a Trump kind of guy, to say the least. Donald Trump is a guy's guy. He's also president of the United States. He's always been a guy's guy, and he's just never jived all that well with people like Powell, who's like the Mitt Romney of the Fed, a Republican, but we think in name only. We also aren't sure why Trump and Powell are wearing the little white hats, but Senator Tim Scott is not, and he's standing right next to them. This is very odd, like his safety doesn't matter as well. We don't really understand why that happened, and who does Jerome Powell think he is? Look at this. What a dink, shaking his head at the president over what Donald Trump is saying about the math, the arithmetic of the construction costs, which have gone way over. We will get to that. We looked into it. The Fed building in Washington is being renovated right now, and maybe you've redone a kitchen or a bathroom at some point, and you know it can be a long, expensive, arduous, drawn-out process. But how about this? The renovation of the Federal Reserve building in Washington is costing taxpayers over $2 billion. One estimate has that number closer to $3 billion, like they're wallpapering their cubicles with $100 bills. And it's already $700 million over budget, meaning not only does Powell refuse to lower interest rates to make America less expensive for Americans, but he also has no idea how to manage a budget, which is a pretty important job for a guy managing the Federal Reserve. Why are we the only ones pointing this out? $700 million over budget. Imagine that. If you've ever redone something at your house, all of a sudden you've been there, you're $700 over budget, you're $7,000 over budget, maybe you're $7 million over budget. Jerome Powell is $700 million taxpayer dollars over budget right now. Skyscrapers cost less money. NFL stadiums cost less money. The Freedom Tower in New York City cost $2 billion to construct. But redoing the bathrooms at the Fed building on the National Mall somehow costs over $2 billion. The building's already there. They're renovating it. It's already there. And Jerome Powell's going to disagree with Donald Trump on the math when he's $700 million over budget. No wonder nobody likes this guy. Take a look at it again. Look at the smugness here from a guy who is $700 million over budget, triple the money that we've sent to Ukraine. Take a look.
We're taking a look, and it looks like it's about $3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1.
3.2.
Jerome, nobody at the Fed is going to tell you that. You got to ask the contractor, the other guy wearing a hard hat who's off camera. Jerome Powell's been in Washington for a long, long time. He's also a guy who is refusing to lower interest rates. It's so expensive to get a mortgage right now. Interest rates still out of control. After he went on a rate-lowering spree just before the election to help Kamala win the election. It didn't work. He lowered them last summer at this time. Then he lowered them in September. But now he suddenly refuses to do it.
Like it's got a long way to go.
Yes, sir.
So,
Mr. President, are there things the chairman can say to you today that would make you back off some of the earlier criticism?
well, I'd love him to lower interest rates. But other than that, what can I tell you?
He almost knocked him over with that pat on the back right there. Love him to lower interest rates. Powell also insists that he's going to finish out the remainder of his term. That ends next May, so a year away. And the Fed chair can't be legally fired without cause. But to us, on this show, Finnerty, being $700 million over budget rises to the level of cause. We'll see. But Donald Trump knows more about construction than probably any other president, maybe Thomas Jefferson, probably any president in history. And he did not like what he saw yesterday during this little tour. Take a look.
Not so long ago, we rebuilt the old post office into the Trump Hotel, and we sold it to Waldorf Astoria. And it was a great success. And I spent $200 million building it. And it was taken down to the steel, for the most part, taken down. You know, you've seen it go up. And I built it quickly, and I built it for $200 million. A much bigger job than this. I spent $200 million, and it's got marble bathrooms, the top fixtures, the best of everything, all brand new. So, you know, this is a very expensive job.
Okay, the number we found is $211 million, so Donald Trump is off by $11 million. Again, not $700 million. OMB Director Rush Vogt sent a letter to Jerome Powell earlier this month stating that, quote, the president is extremely troubled at your management of the Federal Reserve System. Instead of attempting to right the Fed's fiscal ship, you have plowed ahead with an ostentatious overhaul of your D.C. headquarters. Comparable federal building renovations cost many orders of magnitude less than the office you are building for yourself on the taxpayers' dime. The next Federal Reserve conference happens next Wednesday. We will be watching closely. If Powell doesn't lower rates, guess what? He's gone.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.